No, we are muted. That's unfortunate. I hate this. I mean, just little things about the new setup that I keep like.
Fair enough.
With. That's fine. All right. Well, we can do a new update after I get some of these things happening. All right. All right. Give us a sec.
BEA beautiful. We're making it work, friends and neighbors.
Yeah. Let me do that intro real quick, just so I have it, for posterity. Well, I'll do it for the fans. We won't need it for the edit, but we'll do it for the fans.
Let's do it for the fans.
Greetings, gamers, and welcome to the 194th live stream from the Misfit Gamer Studios. I'm your host, Vortex, and this is D&D Discussions. On today's episode, we have a new Ranger subclass coming from Pokeniner called the Aegis Strider. Normally, we get something really interesting from Pokeniner, but the name gives me absolutely nothing. I have no idea what's coming, so join us as we find out today what Pokeniner has in store. All right, there. Then we have an intro for everybody, just to say that we didn't know what's happening. All right. So with that being said, let's now move on to updates. Community stream. So we will have the community stream next Saturday. We just decided that. So I am doing a post in chat right now, or in Discord right now, to let everybody know. Announcement notifications, subs, and followers. All right.
The second Soul hears community stream, he instantly donates to the next community stream.
Of course.
We see you, Soul. We see you. All right. Now, I will say that Vortex says he doesn't get anything from the name alone. I have a little bit, because I've seen a picture of what we're doing.
Okay,
but
I have not.
But even the picture and the name together, I'm still not sure. Like, I'm still not sure exactly the vibe that we're going for, like the theme that we have. So I'm very interested to hear the description that we're gonna have at the intro, because Pokeniner's builds are almost always have like full, like you pulled it straight out of a manual style write-ups. Like, they have the intro, they've got all of the elements, they've got all the added extra pieces that you would see everywhere else. So I'm super excited to see what we got going on. Actually be very interested to see what Pokeniner would come up with if he were to ever create his own class. Not just like subclass for a class that already exists, but like a Pokeniner inspired class. Like, I feel like that would be very, very cool.
All right. So done. Okay. So bam. One thing
Sweet.
Done. We have the community stream posted. Now let me go over to the community stream, and we are going to get the poll going. It has been a minute, so let me get a list of the things we do on stream. There's Lauren Poor. We haven't done that one in a while. Critical cocktails.
Comes with beverages.
Tavern tastings. There's tavern tangents. We can, we should probably finally finally offer up our first AMA. We haven't done that one yet.
We haven't done an AMA. Yeah, that'll be very interesting. I'm curious what that'll end up looking like if you guys go that direction. But very cool. All right, and I'm gonna refrain from voting, okay, until the very end, and that's only if there's some sort of tiebreaker that needs to occur. Because I always get accused of swaying the vote one way or the other. Okay, it's not my fault.
I mean, the whole point though is that's what I do though. That is exactly how I run it. I intend to always have it. I always intend to have it to where I choose what I'm willing to do. Therefore, those are my choices.
Sure,
so
sure.
I voted for everything.
They're
So
all my votes.
the idea, like
Fair
there
enough.
might be times I know I'm willing to do something that I'm less likely wanting to do, but that's
Sure.
not the point, right? If I'm willing to do it, it's unfair for me to say I'm not only willing to do everything, but I'm gonna want to. Like, it just makes me feel weird. It's also probably just a holdover from how I used to run my ship during my SEA days. When I captained my ship, one of the tenets of how I ran my crew and how authority and responsibilities were divvied out is when anything had to come to a vote, captain did not have a vote because the captain's position would always present two options.
Right.
And those options were the only acceptable options that the captain's position would accept. So as captain, the idea was I am not allowed to ever vote on crew matters because I'm going to be the one putting forth the only two valid options. So it's like if someone needs to get voted out, I'm putting forward like these are the two acceptable things. They're either in or they're out.
Sure.
For me to vote on that is unfair, but that's why the rest of the crew has it, and then it trickles down to the last person to vote is the first officer because that should be the tiebreaker.
Sure.
Because if there is the entire crew has the sway, there's no need for the higher ups to try, but it should always come down to the highest in command second to me because I'm the one sitting there. So it's just kind of
it's one of those situations where you won't need to veto a vote because there won't be a vote if you need to veto it.
Exactly.
Like if you're not okay with one of the outcomes occurring, then it won't be a potential outcome to occur in the first
and
place.
part of the tenets of my first officer is basically you can't bring a vote to a tie. So no matter how many people are on the ship, no matter how many crew members I have, no matter how many votes, if it got to a tie, the last person to vote would be my first officer.
Sure. But if it wasn't a tie...
And if it wasn't a tie, they can't vote. Even if it's one vote and they could have made it a tie, they would be unallowed to tie because the crew has spoken.
Sure.
Because part of the first officer's duties, one of their responsibilities was you're there to make crew happiness. Like your entire responsibility is the crew well-being. My responsibility as captain is the ship.
Yep.
My first officer is the crew. And that also tells you, even though we were pirates, should tell you the mindset of like how we ran. It's like, those are our two top priorities. The ship and the crew. I have to take care of the ship, which is
can't function without a ship,
but that's
the
why
ship can't function without the crew.
Yeah, so it's like I need all of you to do the things to make my ship run. So I have a first officer to make sure all of you are happy to do that.
Your body just as much as you need blood. I feel it.
So I like that mentality, and I just kind of like adopt that.
I saw a TikTok recently that kind of reminds me of that topic or that mindset where if you don't ask your players to roll something that isn't that's either impossible to fail or impossible to succeed, right? So it's like if you're rolling to walk down the street, you're not gonna what do you
to open a door? Like it's
stupid stuff versus the opposite, like rolling to Kamehameha the entire planet. Like it's not possible for you to do that thing. Even if you roll a natural 20, it's not gonna happen. You know, so like I'm not gonna make you roll for it. Like you only roll for like the potential possible outcome. So
and there's been actually a lot of great examples like of DM content creators where they talked about stuff like that, where the idea of what you should just let your players do versus roll for, like the idea of I'm trying to think like how they worded it. It was basically the only time you should have them roll is when the outcome is uncertain. Is the perfect way to
yes.
If the outcome is uncertain, or there could be an alternative outcome to the most direct obvious outcome, then you can have a roll. But like you said, if it's something that's impossible to fail, why are we rolling? But if you can fail, or if there's an outcome that's outside of what you expect, like you want to kick down a door, totally within the realm of possibilities. You're big and strong and it's a weak, flimsy door. like a screen door. Okay, guess what? You're not going to not be able to kick down a screen door, right? Just it's mesh.
Sure.
But I might have you roll to see if your foot goes through and you get caught in it versus you actually kick the frame down.
Sure.
That would be, see, that's okay to me.
But then you're rolling for the different outcomes, not for success or failure.
Yeah, I'm not going to say, oh, you want to push through this screen door, roll for strength.
Right.
Oh, you can't do it. You're not strong enough. I know you're wearing plate armor and you're 900 pounds.
If you were to lean on it, I would say you would accidentally fall through it, but you're intentionally trying to push it down? No, sorry, you failed.
So that's what I mean. Is if someone says, I want to kick through a screen door, I'm like, you want to kick through this mesh? Of course, I want to do the whole thing where their foot goes through it and they're like,
sure.
That would be funny. But that's unnecessary if they're just like, it's a screen, we're just going to push right through it. Like spider webs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to move spider webs out of the way. Unless it's a giant spider, you're not going to get trapped in it. So just move on.
Live your life.
All right. So, boom. We are going to have 1 week. The poll, and we are going to allow multiple answers because we usually don't get enough people voting anyway, and y'all end up tying shit anyway.
Disrespectful.
But there's so many options at this point. I don't want to limit it to just one because there's just too many options.
Sure.
We don't have, I mean, let's face it. Unless everybody in the Discord voted, there's not enough votes out there. It would literally just be like one for each.
Sure.
That's more likely what's happening. So, boom, that has been posted. Subs and followers. What is this? This is the September community stream. And there we are off. So everyone's going to have multiple voting, which is great.
Wild voted seconds later,
and only once. Just one vote.
One vote?
Just one vote.
Disrespectful.
Just only wants one thing.
He knows what he wants. All right, good for you.
I love it.
Good for you, brother.
All right. So that is now done. All right. So community stream next weekend, and the topic is being voted on, so people in the Discord can do that. I also need to all right. Boom. Move that. Go back here. And did that post in community chat work? Where yes, in 12 days. Cool. So that one actually has the countdown, which is great.
Pretty sweet.
All right. So the next order of business. Soul. You.
Oh, that's right. That's
made
right.
It to 12 months.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations.
Get you some soul.
Soul chose orange as their highlight.
Like you do.
So this needs to go.
You know what's funny? I cannot tell what my original color is.
I'm pretty sure you chose white.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure that's white. Yeah, it's white.
That's hilarious.
It makes the most sense just because it was like the most striking, against the black background.
Perhaps.
I thought you were going to choose red, but I think
I thought I was going to choose something more neon, like an orange or a green. Like, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was green.
Needs to be like.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go. I like that.
That was the bar back.
I like it. Okay. Let's see.
All right. Now, how does that? Boom. Okay, right behind me. Good.
Clean?
Where it belongs. As long as it's like behind me, that's good. All right. Let me get this one done. All right. So.
Let the artist work.
All right. So, do I want to? Do I want all of the highlights in the same way, in the same direction, or do I want them all kind of like mirror of each other? You know what I mean? Because everything's already kind of mirrored, so I kind of like dig the idea that it would mirror this. Which means that instead of being on the inside, it's on the outside. There. Okay, got it. I got it. I'll do this, and then I'll grab my phone, and I'll do a close-up cam.
You got it? Excellent. There's one, there's two. Beautiful. That's right. Was that a part of a collection? Let me check. I'm not gonna lie, I really appreciate the collections you guys end up sending me. I think I've gotten a bunch of subclasses from Pokeniner. I got a plethora of ice creatures from Hecate. Desmar sent me a bunch of his races and a bunch of his other player options. These kind of little mini what do you call it, resource additions to 5th edition. I love it. I was listening to some creators on TikTok talk about how a lot of 5th edition stuff, it's just like 5e plus, right? I feel like the entire community of D&D has expanded into just this beautiful creation. And so I'm hoping we get more of that stuff. I love that we have like, it's realistically it's 5.5. Like, we call it 2024, like, but it's 5.5, right? We have 3.5, why can't we have 5.5? Like, that's it's easier for me to say it that way. I don't know. What edition of D&D do you play? Oh, I play 5.5. Well, to be very honest, I'd play 5.2 and a half. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, you know, making it work. But
Okay.
boom shakalaka laka. Boop boop.
Give me 1 second. Why, look at that. Brown. Are you ready for it, Soul? Is it upright on the screen? I can't.
Let me check. Hold on. Yeah, you're good.
All right, Soul, here you go. There's your highlight.
Nice. Look at that mess.
Compared to Hakute's.
Woo-hoo.
Friendship again.
Woo woo! Thank you, cards.
Very nice. Heart hooking it up. Looks good. See, we love it. We love it. Thanks for chilling with us.
Yep. So I chose to go with the mirror image. So Hecate got theirs highlight off to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So since Soul's name was also kind of tilted the other way, I decided that we're gonna do that mirror option.
Clean. Very clean.
So I hope you like it, Soul. Those were the colors. and then we'll find out what we're gonna do after another year. We'll have to just yeah, I think we're gonna do like the outlines and shit.
Maybe we'll do bigger landmarks, 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, we'll have to do. Oh yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe we'll have to do like bigger ones. But congratulations! Thank you so much for all of your dedication and support. It's been very, very appreciated.
We really appreciate you guys. All you guys. You too, Cart.
All right. But yeah, y'all may have noticed that we're still in the student or the tavern, and that's mainly just because I've mostly been partly lazy and partly because there's a lot going on with TikTok recently that I'm working on. So,
and I think it's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying having my computer at a desk. It's like on a table. Like I'm not mad at that.
Well, and for the most part, our cameras are still oriented in the way that we're still looking at each other.
Yes.
And when I look at chat, I can still look at my camera. Like it's a vibe. You know what I mean?
It's clean.
It's not as nice of a backdrop, I don't think.
I like the corner. I like what you get. You get a little bit of. You get to see some steins on top of the fridge. You get some cool stuff.
Yeah. But this is definitely making me realize, like, once I have a chance to upgrade, I think this will kind of, like, I do want to essentially upgrade the PC and maybe get some new equipment and then have something more permanent in here.
Right.
In the studio.
Yup.
So at any point, because I definitely need something more permanent in here for TikTok now that the Dice Profiler is more kicking off and we're going to be doing some collabs and stuff. I really need to have a more expansive setup.
No, that's fair enough.
Let me take a look here. Awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited for this collab. So I just got a sneak peek. So sneak peek for anybody. I got this beauty from a fellow content creator.
Ooh.
And it's super nice. The detail on it, there are 2 swords.
Oh, that's cool.
And then there's like a vine or like almost like an elvish inscription below the 2 swords.
I'm so here for that.
So this was sent to us by Chris Deportis, and we are gonna do a collab live stream where we roll that for its own dice profile. We'll do a custom one, and then I'm gonna mail that back to her, so that'll be her custom profile.
That's sick.
And that's just gonna be our first collab there. And then for MisfitGamersStudios side, I'm gonna be sending her some skits that I'm gonna like script together, and then we're gonna do some like little interesting, funny like skit kind of thing.
That's plain.
I think it's gonna start with like how they roll, like different, like how different classes roll. I have some really funny ideas for that.
I love it when I see collabs, like even though you're like fully not in like the same location, but like you show up in the same video. Like it's so clean to me, like how well you can like actually work with somebody without even being in like the same continent necessarily with them. So I'm totally here for that.
And I've been trying to think about ways to do that too, or we how could we do something similar? Like I would love this idea where, because she did a post where showed off mailing the dice.
I did see that. Yeah.
So I think it would be hilarious that after my live stream I do a short that looks like it's like at the end of my live stream, and I'm just looking at it and being like, oh well, that was fun, and then I roll it off screen, and then I send that clip off, and then we basically have her when she gets the dice,
like roll it on the screen,
be like, oh, there's that back, and then just like and then at the end of mine, I would like flick the profile across the table, and it would just slide into hers. Like those are the kind of things like I think it would be kind of fun.
That would be so dope.
Like just
that would be so dope.
I'm hoping that kind of stuff works though.
I love that so
the
much.
ideas that I need to send over, but I've just been I went backpacking this weekend, so I just lost a whole bunch of time.
Fair enough.
I beat my record finally. I actually my recent goal was to get 10 miles in a day, and we did 11.
Sick.
So
is that you and the Wanderer?
Yeah, I did 15 total, but went out to one of our classic spots that we started with just to kind of see where we've come. And just smashed it. Just like what used to take us all day literally took us like 2 hours, and then we were like, well, let's go more. So that was a crazy weekend.
That's
but
awesome.
it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I still have to unpack my bag.
Oh, fair.
I also learned how heavy water is.
Yeah.
I did not realize.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just thinking, like, I probably just carry, 2, 3, maybe 5 pounds of water. No, because we weighed our pack when we left right before we headed up the mountain, and then I wanted to weigh my pack on the way back to see how much water, food, fuel, like all the stuff that you would normally drop. My pack dropped 10 pounds, and all I had was ramen. I brought like basically a ramen packet up there. So the water and the fuel it took to cook that tiny ass like light piece of ramen was 10 pounds. And I'm just like, that makes me appreciate so much that we have filters, because I can't believe people carry more water than me. And I only carry 2 smart bottles.
Seriously,
liter thing.
it's
like,
wild.
I thought 5 pounds, not 10. That was insane. Okay, so where are we? Soul's been taken care of.
Yep.
But actually, you know what? There's something bugging me every time I look at this. Hey, backside.
Careful of the crown.
Yeah. The bottom of the S just didn't have enough coverage, so it just stood out to me as incomplete.
Perfect.
Came a long way since Unicron.
I like Unicron. That was a good review.
I mean,
that was a good review.
It's I don't. How many have we done already? Like, it's insane how many we've done.
Yes.
Like I
Yes,
I try so hard to remember previous ones, but y'all gotta remember how many we've actually done and over how long of a period.
Yes. I was just working on some of my my sorting and whatnot in all of my notes, and like going through, like watching like our episode numbers and watching how many of the homebrew reviews we have and like how often that they happen. Like it's wild, man. It's wild. We've done a lot.
Right. And that's just what we do on one of the streams.
Yup.
Oh boy. Oh, anyway, we have anything else? So community stream has been taken care of. Souls update has been taken care of. The votes are in Discord, or voting's in Discord. I think that was it. I think that was all the major updates that we had to go over.
Sounds Gucci to me.
And then Friday, I think the plan for Friday is a full playtest.
Full playtest, okay.
Of a full actual round for OSI.
Okay. See if we can get from one side to the other.
Yeah.
See how long it actually takes.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to take a lot longer than it should, but I'm hoping that we can streamline it and just, figure out where the pain points are going to be and where, like, determinations are going to be. But if we can play test that, and then it's basically, again, the interface and better maps is where it's going to be.
But yeah, I'm not mad at that.
All right, well, let's begin with our review for today. I don't know if Pokeniner is going to be able to hang out too much, but we shall begin nonetheless, because the VOD will always be available on YouTube. If you ever want to take a look at it. Links not in chat. Oh, that's unfortunate. My hotkeys aren't working.
Really?
Yeah, because nothing's posted to chat.
Oh, that's rude.
Yeah, my stream deck is not configured right now. I must have gotten an update, and it's no longer configured to post those to Twitch. I probably have to log it into Twitch.
Disrespect.
All right. Well, no worries. If you do !point Discord, you can get the Discord link, and I think !point links will get you our link tree, and you can go check us out on the VOD channel. But without further ado, let's begin with our review for today. Coming from Pokeniner, we have the Aegis Strider. a ranger archetype. Again, I have no idea where we're going to go with this. I guess you could say celestial, maybe like angelic with Aegis or Aegis, but I don't know.
Is that where that comes from?
Maybe. I get, like I said, I know I've heard it from somewhere, but it doesn't immediately bring anything to mind. So,
but I feel like you're on the right track, and you'll see why in a little bit.
All right. Well, let's, as always, start with the description once I clear my throat. All right, starting with the description. Chosen by the divine to safeguard the realm, Aegis Striders are warriors gifted with the ability to invoke surges of celestial destiny upon those around them. They stand as vigilant guardians, attuned to the whispers of the divine and charged with a sacred duty to vanquish malevolent forces that threaten the balance between the various realms. Through their connection to higher powers, they mark their chosen foes, guiding their allies to strike with righteous purpose. With unwavering dedication and resolve, these rangers embody the radiant might of the celestial power and are sworn to protect the innocent, defend their land, and ensure the triumph of divine justice. I'm getting like followers of Tiamat vibes.
It's almost like a paladin ranger,
right? I'm definitely.
But you were definitely going right down the celestial path.
Yeah,
you know.
So this is very. I mean, I love the approach of a ranger guardian because it is such an underutilized aspect of the ranger being like an archer.
Sure.
Kind of just being the guardian from afar. I like that. I think that's a great way to go with it. I'm curious how this dive into divinity is going to play out because I'm not opposed to it. I like the idea that I definitely think that there is room, especially with subclasses in 5th edition, to break open some of the boundaries of what classes are. Because
I was just about to talk about that.
You know, for the longest time, like I've mentioned it for the longest time, that while I still think that paladins should have stayed in a divinity type of category along with clerics, I think they should have stayed. I've always advocated that there should have been something else that took its place. I think paladin should have stayed divine, but I definitely think that we needed something like an oath paladin.
Sure.
Now, something that could draw its power.
Something outside of that.
Yeah, I think oath magic is great, but with that being said as well, sometimes, especially with how subclasses work, it doesn't make sense to say that only clerics and only paladins are deserving, of
some sort of divine connection.
Exactly. So someone like this, that exactly like you said, is essentially a paladin, but of the ranger, persuasion. I like that idea, similar to what we do with sublimited subclasses, right?
Yes,
this
exactly.
Sounds like
exactly.
If a cleric and a paladin both followed this god and did something amazing for this god, they be like two people. They became a cleric and a paladin.
Mm-hmm.
But this person from the woods, from an archer's perspective, this is what they like.
So
I like
see, that's kind of what I'm curious about, because when I think of ranger, right, I do kind of think of like a guardian of sorts, almost like of how I view druids, right? So rangers, generally speaking, are very nature-based. They're very like wilderness, earth-based, but I can totally understand, like we have plenty of druids that are druids of death, right? That's like an element of nature. So my thought is, it's like, okay, what are we articulating is this particular ranger's domain, so to speak? Like what is their vibe? Like what are they protecting? Like is it people? Like that's almost what it sounds like. Is like your job is it's more of like community
chosen to safeguard. So I'm thinking this is almost like like mortal angels, basically, like mortals chosen by the divine to say, hey,
to be guardians.
Exactly. So,
but like that's what I'm like. What are we really guardians of?
Well, we'll probably find out. But yeah, I think the idea that this gives me the most, though, is I kind of want to do something similar to something in subclasses, but instead of it being like a very particular subclass into another big class, almost now the other way around.
It's almost like splitting classes. Wait.
Yeah, because I'm thinking what I want to make is like we have a ranger archetype, which is basically just what you call a subclass. But what if we had divine archetype, but that would fit in any class. So you have a divine archetype under rogue would be basically what happens. Like again, imagine a normal person under any generalized class. They were all part of an adventuring party and did something to appease a god. So you would have one, upgrade to a cleric. You'd have someone upgrade to a paladin, a rogue. What would a rogue become? This was a ranger. A ranger became this. So it's not they all had the same subclass. It's just what would a divine version of each main class be?
Are you envisioning like we have like a write-up, like we have a write-up for a class that can be taken and applied to all these
I just mean like this just says like this type of subclass, right? I would be really curious to see if we could like name a new type of subclass, right? Where it's like saying it's just a divine archetype. So you say, I want to build a bard subclass, but I want it to be a divine archetype. So then you build it based on what would happen to a bard if they appeased a god. And we're essentially given the same rights as a paladin. Like you're going to be you're going to represent me as my divine vessel or vassal, I guess, depending on how you're going to talk about it, right? Because that's all a paladin is, right? A paladin is essentially a fighter that has become a vassal of a divine king. So what happens if a bard became a vassal? This sounds like what would happen if a writer or a ranger became a vassal.
Pokeniner's kind of saying they got the idea for this from the Arcana domain for clerics, which is basically that exact same concept that you're talking about, except wizards into clerics.
Okay.
So like clerics get to have access to very wizardy feeling things, even though they're
so very already so similar on the same vibes, on the same wavelengths. Because
yes,
I think that might be something that we can put into APHB or just something on a side supplemental.
Sure.
But I like this idea of again, subletting subclasses has a very distinctive thing. It is we took a subclass that had a very distinctive source, like Echo Knight. They learn the powers of the alternate dimension, but you're telling me every person that ever found that power only ever was a fighter to become a knight. That's different than this. I think the idea is like, I like this idea of more classes should be able to say something like that. Like, I want to be a rogue, but I want to be a rogue that is the vassal of some divinity, right? I want to be a paladin level rogue.
So what it feels like to me, this is likely a little bit different than what you're ultimately talking about, but it feels like what's happening right now, what Pokeniner did, what Wizards did with this Arcana domain is they almost subclassified another class so that they could insert it and kind of like mix it together. So like you're basically saying this is a ranger paladin or ranger or divine whatever, and then the cleric is like a cleric wizard that they can like put those two together. So
that's what I'm thinking would be great to start making our own type of archetype category.
Yes,
that basically does just that. I want a subclass of rogue, but I want this rogue to act as if it's like a paladin, or
like imagine there was a rogue subclass that basically combined paladin nature. Like you had like smites or something like that, or and it didn't even have to be specifically smites. It could just be something akin to the same thing, which would be like fucking stupid.
Divine backstab.
Oh my gosh, get the fuck out of here.
Because you can do things like like divine backstab, but it only works against like fiends or evil or opposite alignment. But then you also have things like you can give it the free knock spell as part of its cleric abilities. Is like there's a lot you could do with that. So
I'm intrigued.
Yeah. I think there's something there, because that's very much like what I like to do in High Point, which is if someone wants something that's like, if someone came to me and said, I want to play a rogue, but what happens if I impress a god? What would I become? Like a paladin able to say I dedicate, but would a rogue, if a rogue went to the god of tricksters and said, I want to dedicate to you like a paladin, but I'm not a fighter. I'm not here to go wage holy war, but I want to dedicate myself to you. So you're telling me that a god would have someone who wants to dedicate themselves as much as a paladin, but they don't have the paladin skills.
Sure.
You're telling me every god in existence is going to be like,
no, I don't want that.
I don't care. No, I look at it and go, that god's going to go, you don't have paladin skills, so I will make you my holy warrior. You're not persuasive enough to, and kind enough to be a cleric of mine to go, spread my following. But I do need someone who could subvert my enemies, or what, I need something that would, like, hey, I need a type of person that will fund my church. My clerics are all doing this kind of stuff, but I need someone who's willing to, do
Sure.
something else.
I will say, I feel like, where was I going with this? There's a lot of times where I feel like, and this is kind of off topic, but mostly too often when we think of doing certain things, like there's a fighter subclass that basically gives you access to spell slots. It lets you do magic things. But I think specifically when it comes to magic, too often you're just trying to make somebody a baby spellcaster. Well, I think there's another option that's super valuable, which is giving a subclass access to magical abilities without giving them spell casting.
I you know what I'm saying? Just the expansion of Magic in 5th edition is just a new spell list, but it's the same spell list for everybody.
Monks got close. When they did the elemental stuff and when they did some of their like Kamehameha whatever type vibes. Like that's like magical abilities without like, oh, now I have spell slots and I can just let somebody have some powers, not necessarily spells. It still count as magic, but
okay. So I'm digging this a lot. This is definitely going to get the inspiration point so far. And definitely I'm not surprised at all with this kind of imagery. This is very much.
That's why I was like, when I saw the wings, I was like, it gives me kind of Asimar vibes, but like I'm not 100% sure. Like exactly what
like celestial, like old school, like even older, just angelic creatures that D&D had.
Like this makes me think of what's her name? Hot Girl. From she's from DC. She's one of the DC.
Okay.
What is their team called? Justice League. One of the Justice League members.
Gotcha.
But instead of having a mace, she's got a bow. But straight fire. I love
Wonder Woman. Are you thinking of Wonder Woman?
No, I'm not thinking of Wonder Woman. Goodness.
I think I know who you're talking about. Hot Girl.
She got like huge wings. She's got the headdress on.
I think I only know her because of Harvey Birdman.
Wild.
Once my brain made that connection, I'm like, oh, Hot Girl. Oh yeah. Wrong Hot Girl that I'm thinking of. But still, once I thought of Harvey Birdman, I'm like, oh yeah.
That's exactly the vibes. Wild.
All right. So let's look at the Aegis Strider magic. You learn an additional spell when you reach certain levels in this class, as shown on the Aegis Strider spell table. The spell counts as a ranger spell for you, but doesn't count against the number of your ranger spells. Hey yo, what is going on? How you doing today? Aegis Strider spells. So, actually, this might actually be one of the smaller spell lists that we've seen. Usually we get multiple spells per level with a lot of the other ones that we get. So.
I will say this is common for ranger subclasses specifically.
Gotcha. Okay. So at 3rd we get Sanctuary. At 5th we get Augury. At 9th we get Beacon of Hope. At 13th we get Guardian of Faith. And at 17th we get Holy Weapon. All right. Our Guardian of Faith, I believe, is standard. Sanctuary, I believe, is standard, and Holy Weapon, I think, is standard. Yes.
I'm pretty sure Augury is. Let me double check. I think it's a PHP one.
Okay.
I don't use it very often. It's a 2nd level ritual spell. It's super basic. It's kind of like a fortune telly one where you can say, hey, do I feel like the outcome of this thing's going to be good? Do I feel like the outcome of this thing's going to be bad? Whatever the case may be.
And then what's Beacon of Hope? That one's definitely new to me.
I think that's a healing spell.
Okay, interesting. That one, because all the other ones I recognize.
3rd level, it's another PHB one. So spell bestows hope, vitality. Choose any number of creatures within range for the duration. Each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing spell.
Ooh, okay.
And that lasts for a minute.
Good. Okay. So I'm liking this. I think those are fantastic spells. A lot of the times we've seen people try to min-max their way in these spell lists where we'll see a healer with a couple healy spells, but then they'll have an RP spell and then 2 damaging spells, and it's like, where are you going with this build? Like, this is really great. All of these not only are great progression, but they all give me this distanced guardian, because I think all of these are at range, correct? I don't think any one of these is a...
I think Sanctuary might be a touch spell, and I think Holy Weapon is a touch spell, but those are things that you're likely going to be casting on yourself, so you don't have to worry about like doing anything like up close on somebody.
But those also then have AoE, right?
Sanctuary is just yourself. So Sanctuary basically says if somebody tries to attack you, they have to roll a Wisdom saving throw first or target somebody else.
Gotcha.
So it works from range. Like the effect of the spell works no matter what the range is. Holy Weapon, I'm assuming if you're going to have a ranged weapon, heck yes, it's going to work on ranged. You know, Guardian of Faith. I'm not exactly sure what that one does. Guardian of Faith. Large spectral guardian appears. So yeah, you're literally creating a buddy that comes and hangs out with you.
Yeah, the vibe for today is a divine archer. So
I think
they just
hit their ads. I don't know if they can hear you.
Damn ads.
Rude.
All right. Okay.
But yeah.
So not too bad.
I like it a lot. I think it's good.
All right. Yep. So yeah, we have a angelic archer subclass. Not really. It's a divine archer subclass, not angelic. The imagery gives it to be angelic. But right now, it's just going to be.
And I'm assuming like, who knows how you want to articulate how you got these powers, or what god or what divinity, what pantheon you're getting this from. Those could be skeletal wings. Those could be, you know, and I don't know if like you literally get visual wings when you get this subclass. So who knows? But.
Yeah. All right. So moving on, we'll start with the third level spells or the third level abilities, and we will find out exactly what this thing can do. All right, you're back. Awesome. Well, we just went over it, but we are dealing with a divine archer. It is a archer subclass of divine origin. So think paladin, but a ranger instead of, you know, fighter background.
Yep.
All right, so we start with third level, Burning Sigil. You can mark a creature with your attacks becoming a destined enemy to you and nearby allies. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can use your reaction to deal an additional 1d6 radiant damage for that attack and mark them with a sigil. Already liking the radiant damage. We've seen a lot where people like to throw in force damage or like lightning. I love the fact that it's radiant damage. That just it fits right well in. A d6 so far, feeling great for this level. Additionally, the next time an attack hits the sigiled creature before the end of your next turn, the attack deals an additional 1d6 radiant damage, and the sigil fades away. So it's not just there the entire time.
Sure.
It's just the next hit, so anyone can benefit from that. The extra damage for bolt attacks increases to 2d6 when you reach level 11 in this class. I would have liked to see 2 upgrades there. I would have liked to see like a 2d6 and a 3d6.
Oh, more than just the one upgrade halfway through?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really think that
I would agree, because you know, if I'm at level 19 and I'm still only doing an additional 2d6,
and you know why? I would also want to do this. I would want to increase it at least twice to a total of 3d6 or 2d6 each time. But, and maybe this is the other thing too, is I still want it to have 3, because I would love that at each time that upgrades, it also says that you can have more than one sigil. So if you add 2d6 at level 8, say, but at level 8, it also says you can have 2 sigils out. So you can have 1 sigil dealing 2d6 or 2 sigils out doing 1d6 each.
Is there anything in here that says you can only have 1 right now?
When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can use your reaction to deal that and mark with... Oh, no, actually, it doesn't say that there is any limit. I assume that there was only one limit time.
I think that I like that. I think that I like that.
It's as a reaction. Oh, it's the reactions, it's limit. So, but if I... Oh, yeah, and then it's at the end of your next turn, so it doesn't really matter. You basically maybe max out.
Before the end of your next... Okay, so there... Yeah.
So basically, if you put another one on, the first one's gonna go away.
That's fair enough.
So, good point. So I would say that, yeah, I would, in my mind, when I think of this thing upgrading over time, I think it would be great to get up to 3d6, but each time I get a new d6, I can also split it. And that basically means at the end of like whatever the turn is, however many sigils is how much d6, right? So if I put 1 sigil out, that creature's going to get, you know, let's say 3d6. But if I put 3 sigils out on my turn, it's 1d6 each. It would be kind of interesting to be able to do that.
I think it would be kind of interesting in order to, because you're using your reaction, it might be cool if eventually you could say anybody you hit this turn, you can use your reaction to give them a sigil. So because eventually you'll at the very least get multi-attack. You'll at the very least
Like
get
as a reaction,
extra attack
like,
you can do.
Like basically, as a reaction, anyone you hit this turn now has a sigil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think, and then again, yeah, being able to increase it, that would be cool. Do the subclass gains in the late game playtesting said, please don't raise the damage more.
Really interesting.
Well, we'll see. So yeah, so that's just again initial reactions, but so far
That's
1d6 radiant
interesting.
damage, and then having everybody else get to also do an additional 1d6 and not feel overpowered.
Sure.
I think it's great.
100%.
Yeah, no, I don't see any problems with this. So moving on to the next level 3, Divine Notice. Don't you only get one reaction per round? So that's just no. You only get one reaction per round. So that's why we were saying, like, if we kept it as a reaction later down the road, but got to mark more people, it would be as a reaction. You can put a sigil on any creature that you hit this round. So let's say if you get multi-attack, later in the game, you hit 2 different creatures, you'd be able to use your reaction to mark both of them after the fact. But that would be the only way to do it if you kept your reaction. But yeah, so Divine Notice level 3. Additionally, your devoted mission grants you heightened intuition and connection to the divine. You learn a spell of your choice from the cleric or paladin list. The spell you choose must be of a level you can cast, as shown on the ranger table. It counts as a ranger spell for you. It counts as a ranger spell for you, but it doesn't count against the number of ranger spells you know. You can cast this spell once without expending a spell slot, and you can't cast that spell in this way again until you finish a long rest. But of course, you can spend spell slot later because you know the spell. You can also cast the spell using a spell slot you have of the appropriate level. You can choose to replace a spell with another one you can cast when you reach 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th level in this class. So my only issue here, because I don't mind any of this, none of this seems out of balance and it seems, pretty understandable. My only issue, and this is just something that I have an issue with in terms of regular D&D in most editions, I don't like replacement. Even in the earlier editions, I hated the idea that if you learned something new, you had to give up something. It never sits well with me.
Sure.
So even when it comes to spells, I know that there's probably a lot of like balancing questions, but just the idea that you can replace it, I just would prefer you just add like another spell to your list.
Sure.
To me, that feels a lot better. It feels a lot more unique. It's probably maybe a little bit overpowered and a little bit too much, but I don't know. It's just the idea that I have this spell, but then granted,
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think that the reason why they do this is, like, say you choose a spell, you start using that spell, it doesn't work how you thought it would work, it doesn't flow well with what you're trying to do, or whatever the case may be, and you just don't want to use it anymore, and you want to use something else instead. If you just added more to it, it would feel like, okay, now I have 15 spells, rather than just 2, and it's supposed to be like a half cast or whatever the case may be.
I mean, and I get that. I think for me, it's like, that's the idea, is if you chose the wrong spell, well, that, you've burned one of the slots, right? It's kind of like that idea of you would only get so many of these benefits. So yeah, I totally get that it doesn't really work with the half-caster mindset. It's just a personal thing for me. My mindset, I mean, at least it's with a divine background, so at least I can justify the fact that it is the divine saying, hey, I'm gonna swap out what I'm allowing you to have. There's a lot more lore that grants it that reprieve. It's just something that when it comes to D&D, it's just, I'm not a fan of replacing. I'm usually a fan of like additive. Sure. And even if this was only just like,
and I do get that,
just later down the road.
Because logically, I mean, like, you're not necessarily, you might lose proficiency with something, but you're not going to lose full knowledge of something, like stuff I've done forever ago. It's not like I might not be as good as executing it as I used to be, but I 100% am still aware of how it works, how it functions, all that stuff.
And just because you learn something new doesn't mean you forgot that. So yeah, anyway, I don't see
neither here nor there.
And I don't see anything else wrong with this. The fact that you're giving the ranger access to the paladin and cleric spells, that's great. You gave them the sigil, which is really cool. It is kind of like their own magic, option.
Sure. Almost feels like a funky hunter's mark.
Right. One thing that I wouldn't mind as kind of like to really make this thing unique and not just, hey, I have access to a paladin spell or a cleric spell. On top of the sigil, what would be really interesting is like a daily ability. So you can only do once per day, once per turn, whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
But the idea that like once per day, you can cast any healing spell at range. Like the idea is like no matter what the healing spell is, you can cast it at the range that you can fire your weapon. So just kind of like a divine gift is once.
What would be cool? Like imagine if you could you could arrowify a spell.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically
but
just
I would
like
say a healing spell specifically.
Sure.
Like, but that would be a cool, unique thing that this could have. It's just once, if you know a healing spell, you can give it the range of your actual weapon.
I'm not mad at that. That's a very cool idea. That is a very cool idea.
To me, that would be on the same level of like Paladin Smite.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like a Paladin Smite is meant to give a shit ton of damage all at once. A ranger being able to heal from hella far away would be really interesting. You know what I mean? I think that would be kind of like comparable.
Okay.
So, and that's what I mean by like when I was talking about how this would be that archetype. Like, yes, not everything has to have its version of Smite because clerics don't really have a Smite, but clerics do get something because they're that good, right?
Sure.
Like they get that extra ability. I think that could be something that you could unlock for different, for each class. They could have their own unique like version of that,
right.
Of that divine Smite. Yeah, I don't know. It's like there's so many options there, but yeah, don't want to get into the idea of other classes. So that would be my only thing previous, but yeah. So for Divine Notice, no issues. I think it's really cool. I just also think it would be nice to have like some sort of added benefit for just being a Divine Ranger. But moving on to level 7, we get the Aegis Sigil. So this will be an upgrade, I think. So your Divine Service has granted you awareness of evil forces around you, and you have prepared yourself accordingly. You cannot be charmed, frightened, or possessed by fiends or undead. Additionally, you gain resistance to radiant damage.
Love that.
Okay. So this is definitely fiends or undead. Interesting. Man, this game again. Another idea that D&D doesn't do anymore, but it would be great if there was a common thing where things were like reversible, where like you could have them like the subclass, but say, hey, if you choose to be good, replace all, like you replace fiends, like there's fiends and undead, but if you chose to be evil, or let's say you wanted to be like an undead like character somehow,
sure,
you'd have to change this so you can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by celestials, and
celestials and fit.
It would just be kind of cool to have like a button that would, or just a little message here that says this can be reversible based on the alignment you choose.
Sure.
And so it would just be common to know what that would flip to.
If you were to do that, would you flop the resistance as well?
Why not? Like I think if we could make it a common like structure of rules.
Sure.
Because again, it would have to be just saying that certain builds could have that feature where if you chose this, we all know what the opposite of these are. But
so there's a spell. Weirdly enough, I think this would be a really good choice of spell for this particular. But the spells that they chose are great. It's a first level spell. It's called protection from good and evil. It's one of my
classic spell.
It's one of my favorites. And so the good and evil that they have listed here are aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Okay.
Right? So like I would imagine splitting that list in half and saying one's the good side, one's the bad side.
I think that's the idea, right? So yeah, so that's cool. I think that this is a really good one. Charmed, frightened, possessed at level 7. That's fine. That's fantastic. And then resistant to the radiant damage that you deal.
Sure.
I think it's fine. Like there's like I almost feel like it's not enough for level 7. Like it's great. It's almost like I wouldn't mind like one more thing, but
I mean I think it's so you are immune. Granted, it's lightweight situational, so I'm hoping that it's something that's going to be. I mean, this is the case anytime you choose any sort of like themed subclass. It's like, hey, if I choose an ice themed sorcerer and like everything's immune to ice, or just I never get to use my ice thing, you know.
Right.
If I choose this subclass and I just never run into any of the things that I'm immune to being charmed or frightened from, like it kind of sucks. But I love the idea that, you know, I feel like if that's something you do run into, that's going to be crazy powerful. If you're running into things that have the power to do, like I'm assuming going around these things, you're going to be messing with gods and celestials and things of that nature. Like there are bad celestials, you know what I mean? There are celestials that want to do you harm, you know? So like you could very well be coming up against something that would do radiant damage to you, you know what I mean? So
okay. So I don't think there's really, I mean, again, I wouldn't mind if there was one more thing, but there's nothing that's screaming that's missing so far.
Look.
All right, so next level is level 11. This is when our extra damage from our sigils goes to a 2d6. So the second hit that we do.
Okay.
Or for both attacks, both the attack that you do as well as the sigil's additional attack go up to 2d6. All right, so Divine Barrage. Your distant strikes can ruin those with evil intentions. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend one spell slot to deal radiant damage to the target, in addition to the weapon's damage. The extra damage is 2d6 for a first level spell slot, plus 1d6 for each level higher than first, to a maximum of 66.
It's basically a smite.
The damage increases by 1d6 if the target is undead or fiend, to a max of 7d6.
Okay.
In addition, if you use your Burning Sigil feature on the target this turn, you can also enable your allies to smite the target as well. The next time a creature hits the target with an attack before the end of your next turn, the creature also rolls half the number of Divine Smite dice originally rolled, rounded up, and adds that.
So if you have 6, they get to roll 3.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy. So in addition to whatever additional damage they would have done from the sigil itself, they also get stacked on top of that whatever barrage damage.
This is almost like you're mixing smite with fairy fire almost. Like you're like highlighting them, and basically everyone just gets to like benefit from from that.
Yes, it's slightly closer to what's the one guiding bolt, because guiding bolt lights them up for the next person that hits them, and then it kind of like absorbs that power.
Just that idea of like basically like you're hitting them and basically telling everybody that's the beacon, go there. Everyone do extra damage. I like the idea that it's splitting up this kind of like use of a divine smite. That's very interesting.
Kind of feels bard-esque, as in like you're allowing all your allies to, everybody come jump in on this hit fest over here,
right? And you're able to do it from a distance, so you can very easily shift combat without having to be there for it. I mean, damage is on point.
Yeah, I'm not mad at the damage for this level at all.
The fact that it burns, the fact that it burns spells, I think is great.
And so at this point in time, your sigil damage went from 1d6 to 2d6, right?
What's that?
So at this point, at this level, when you get Divine Barrage, that's when your sigil damage goes from 1d6 to 2d6.
Yeah.
So you have to spend spell slots to do this. So
yeah,
every turn-ish, you're doing your regular weapons damage. We'll say theoretically that's just 1d6 for a short bow. You're doing an extra 2d6 for a first level slot. You're doing...
Well, no, hold on. So the regular one, though, doesn't require the spell slot, right?
The sigil does not. Yes.
Right. So hold on. So before we do that real quick. So you have D6 from the bow.
From the bow.
Then 2d6 from your sigil.
From the sigil.
Just your first attack. So then we continue because you said another d6 from.
Well, you get 2d6 from the Divine Barrage too. I just did it in a different order.
Oh,
but
okay,
yes.
Okay, yeah. So 2d from the sigil, and then
2d6 for a first level Divine Barrage.
Right.
And then
the next person to hit would do another 2d6.
The next person is going to do it.
from the sigil, and then half your smite. So if you did,
does the next person get the full 2d6?
They'll get the sigil. Yeah, they'll get the 2d6 from the sigil. So they'll get 2d6, and then they'll get half the smite, which in this case was 2d6. So you'll get 1d6. So right there, the bare minimum with one spell slot, and everybody hits them, will get an additional 8d6 plus whatever the other person hits. But that's 8d6 without going beyond a first level spell slot.
Interesting. Not everyone, just the first person to hit.
Yeah.
But interesting. I'm trying to decide, because the only thing I can think of is I still feel like it would be cool if somehow I could have multiple sigils, right? Because if I could set it up where both of my attacks could tag 2 different people and both of them could have sigils on it, I think I'm trying to decide whether you're spending spell slots. So if you want to smite multiple people in one turn, smite multiple people in one turn. If you want to use your barrage on multiple people in one turn, like, that's fine. Theoretically, the way this works, you can use your barrage on multiple people in one turn anyways. There's no limit to how many times you can do that. But yeah, I still think it would be cool to just be able to like imagine if I like shoot one person, shoot somebody else, and now both of those people get to have that type of day. I think I'm trying to decide whether I think that's good now or maybe wait till like level 14. I don't know how many more level ups we have for Rangers.
I don't know. I mean,
just the one.
The more I try to throw it into different scenarios, I think this is actually pretty spot on. Being able to have another person jump in and be able to, because you have having 2 people being able to roll up on this, that the archer in the back being able to set up whoever's up front, whether they're the wizard, whether they're melee, whether they're also ranged, just that setup really, I think, is the cornerstone of this. I think it really just makes the fact that this is a ranger shine. So I'm gonna say that it really doesn't need any like mixing. I think the fact that it already is very self-aware with burning sigil stacking, and the fact that it very much leans into being against like undead and fiend, I think that's great. It even definitely still makes me want to have that option to do the reverse, because I think an evil version of this is more than okay. But I think that would be a decision you would make at the beginning of the game, right? Like, hey, based on the the setting, based on the game we're going to play, can I do an evil version of this where undead and fiends become like you said, Fae and Celestial, and can I do instead wherever it says Radiant, let me do Necrotic.
Like there was a moment in time in Critical Role lore where one of the characters lost their warlock powers and ended up having to find a different patron to like replace them. And so a lot of their abilities like shifted and changed. Like I can totally see lore reasons why if you started off with all the necrotic stuff and the necrotic side, but somewhere down the line you had to like switch allegiances, or you got stolen by another god, or somebody else made you, whatever the case may be, however it occurred, like you changed where your allegiances lied. I can see that shifting as well.
Yeah.
So okay.
So far it's developing very well. It really does feel like it's moving forward. I'm not surprised it went pretty high on damage. I was expecting a little bit more heals. So again, I think even now more than ever, having just that once a turn or once per combat, being able to do like any ranged heal that I know, I think would still be a great addition, because this I think is a great use of the idea that this is a ranger paladin. Like it really, having this kind of divine smite mention just really just says that this is a paladin at range, and I love that. I think that this is really good for that, but I also want that distance healing, because paladins are good for like lay on hands. They're good for that up close healing. I think this has the exact opportunity to do just that. But now we move over to the last one, which is level 15. All right. So, True Aegis, or Aegis, whatever you want to pronounce that is. Your divine connection transforms you into an unwavering guardian. Whenever a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is hit by an attack, you can use your reaction to grant that creature resistance to the damage type of the attack for the turn. If the attack uses multiple damage types, they gain resistance to the first stated damage type. If the creature already has resistance to that damage type, it gains immunity for the duration. That's dope. That is awesome. I don't know how I feel about it being its capstone.
Interesting. I love what that could do.
Yeah.
Again, I would have to see how strong some of the other capstones are for Rangers. I'm not super familiar. I've never gotten any character past level 10, let alone level 15.
I mean, honestly, it's like I almost want to switch the level 11 and level 15. Like, I almost feels like the barrage would be a better capstone. Especially if everyone was saying that this does too much damage. And in late game, the easier thing to do would be make True Aegis the level 11 ability where you can, again, it's still focusing on like the healing aspect and the benefits. And then at the very end, you get this barrage where you share your
damage,
your divine smite. I think that's how I would have done it. I think that would feel better, and I think it might solve what the playtesters was saying, that there's already too much damage. Just switch it, and then you should be doing that much damage.
I genuinely, I want to see what these playtesters are talking about. That sounds crazy to me.
It doesn't, like, honestly, it doesn't sound that bad.
It doesn't feel like that much damage, but I mean, like, it's in practice versus in theory. Like, there's always elements that you don't consider. So
we have no idea what once you put a race to this,
sure,
and anything else, like, there's so many different combos that would happen. In Ranger progression, level 11 is supposed to be the 13th power, or the T3 power spike for Rangers, so that's the main reason. Okay, I mean, you know me, I've always been very much against the standardization that 5th edition has done to subclasses. I don't feel that they really call to the quality of life that a lot of these classes are missing. You know what I mean? I think so many classes could be better if we broke away from how they're designed. But the problem is Wizards originally designed, a handful of these subclasses. They didn't, it wasn't made to be expanded, right? Like things that have 9 upgrades versus 4 upgrades. No matter what those upgrades are, like, no matter how many,
they tried really hard to make it feel like no matter what class you choose and no matter what race you go, when both of you guys hit level 15, you feel relatively equal. Like, they tried really hard to make that a thing, and I think in much earlier editions, like, they didn't give a shit about that. Right? Like, they knew if you were a wizard, you were going to die in an instant, but you could take down something like way higher level than you if you played your cards right. Right? And so, like, there were elements of give and take to each class that you just were willing to deal with when it came to those older editions. Whereas now, I feels like they want everyone to feel survivable. They want everyone to feel like you can exist in this world without a lot of fear of not being able to survive or hack it or whatever. You have relatively enough, like, yes, you can specialize the direction you want to go, but like, you have relatively enough skill sets to be able to deal with what's coming at you out here. So, like, I get it, but at the same time, I very much agree that I think it would be so very interesting if we were to kind of go back to that and allow a little bit more diversity. Allow, hey, yes, you might feel powerful doing this thing with this particular fire spell or with this particular healing spell, but over here, you're going to need some help type deal.
I got it. I got another one. So for True Aegis, either, again, I still think it should be a level, I think level 15 and level 11, even if the power spike is needed for the build, I still think those two should be switched. But regardless, here's an option for True Aegis to also kind of bring it full circle, because we also haven't seen anything healing yet. Like, we have like only up until the beginning. So what if with True Aegis, whenever a creature you can see is hit by a target, all of this works, right? Exactly as is. But add in the verbiage, if the attacker has a sigil.
Oh, you could burn the sigil to heal them.
Like use that sigil to say, turn the damage into healing instead. Like something like that.
I like that.
I just want one other full circle. We're still a healer because I mean the barrage is great, which is why I kind of wanted that as capstone. But I think True Aegis, I love this idea of resistance, but I still want to see a little bit of heal. But if it tied back to that sigil, that would be interesting. It would be really interesting to be able to heal somebody. Again, this would be your distance healing. You'd be able to do that at a distance. I just don't know how to make that work. But I would love to say.
See. Here's a mechanic that I don't think has ever really been used. Like the closest is the absorb element spell, where you can use your reaction to get resistant to a damage, and then later you can imbue a certain, like a d6 of that particular damage type with an attack. But imagine if you could, like, instead of getting resistance to something, but get like damage absorption.
Right.
Where instead of just getting resistance,
because that would be the next thing beyond immunity. Is just one step up.
Is it actually heals you?
I thought about doing that where it's like if you're already immune, you become healed by it, but it's like that's so situational. But then go back to the sigil, right? Like if you're gonna use this, because it's again a reaction. So like you burnt your reaction last round.
Does this one say you use your reaction to do it?
Yes, it does use your reaction. So you'd have to do it.
Okay, that's good.
The round after. So it's like one of those as a reaction in the next round. So last round you burnt the sigil. You're waiting for your turn, so the sigil's still on him until the end of this round, until you're end of your turn this round. But if you wanted to burn that early, that that would be the thing to do. Is you'd have to like burn it early before the round goes out.
Interesting. Yeah.
Or before someone else.
But see, if you use your reaction to put a sigil on somebody, your reaction is gone. So then.
But the next turn it would be back, right?
But then the sigil will be gone because the sigil only lasts till the end of your next turn.
Yeah. Okay. So,
but I think that that's a really good idea. Like being able to do that somehow.
Or I mean, what if it was just that if the creature has a sigil, they heal instead? Like, would that be just too much?
I don't.
And you
think
could you could just say they're healed instead, and their sigil is removed early. So at that point, so if they haven't been
and it burns their sigil. Okay.
And then that way, if no one's hit them yet, no one's going to benefit from that damage. Sure. But you said, I'm gonna, well, no, because again, you don't have a reaction. This only works when you still have your reaction. So you can't have the sigil on, unless the sigil lasts longer.
I think it might be cool to make to add it as a passive. As the sigil, so you don't need to use your reaction. Like now, the question would be if that person attacked somebody that already had most of their health just to get rid of their sigil. You know what I mean? Like if you start getting to like tactics, with like the kind of people that what's his name's running around with the really high level, really tactically inclined people. The enemies might start playing around with certain things, to screw you over. But overall, I think that's not too crazy. If just passively, whenever you have a sigil on you, if you hit an enemy, the next enemy that you hit burns a sigil and heals them for however much damage you would have done anyways.
Yeah, I mean maybe but then you get into the issues you brought up before of like, well, if I do that and the enemy just hits something to burn the sigil, then I don't get to use my sigil. So
it would have to be on an ally. They would have to hit an ally. The passive would say if an enemy hits one of your allies.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. It'd be harder to add healing to this particular ability. Just because they both use the reaction. That's the big thing. But I don't know. Realistically, my only arguments are switch the last two, switch 11 and 15, and
Dude, even if you just gave them that arrow that we talked about earlier,
And then that, yeah.
if we just gave them that arrow, like
any healing spell can be at the same distance you can fire your weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would be it. I'd be fine with all of that. I'd have really no other issues. Also, some other easy ones that you can add here, and this could be maybe later down the road too. Again, True Aegis. I wouldn't mind this at level 11. Another add-on to True Aegis. How about this? You can use the help action at distance.
Interesting.
So like you could get an ally up or stop them from saving throws. Like I don't know how that would work, but what about being able to do that? Just the help action.
This was something that I actually was thinking about the other day. I love the help action
thing. Like you can summon a mage hand and it just helps them.
Would you allow somebody to use the help action at distance with a cantrip like minor illusion, like in combat? Like if you're like whispering in their ear, or if you're like trying to like make them feel like something's brushing up against them, or like just distract them in some sort of way.
I would totally
like that. That sounds like to me like I feel like
help at a distance. Yeah,
I feel like that should be way more standard. You know, like
well, and I mean, why can't help at a distance? I mean, I guess like throw a rock at someone. I don't know how. You know, like
if you can make it work, like great. Like do whatever you got to do. Like if you can find creative ways to do it. But I think like for those kind of like basic spells, like it would be so convenient. Like even something like shape water, if you're able to like splash water in somebody's face, you know, like with decent enough timing, you know, it's basically just using the help action at a distance to help screw somebody up when the time comes.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I like it. Overall, it's really good. I feel like it's missing just one more little thing of healing, which could just easily be explained by the distance heal. And I still think those just last two. It feels weird to end on the resistance boost. But again, I think that's more of a failure of how the subclass has to unfold.
Sure.
But I don't think there's anything like it doesn't feel. I don't know why they thought it was overpowered. I mean, it really doesn't feel like it's that big of a deal.
Dude, well, I was gonna say I would even be lightweight okay with them just saying screw the resistance. You just get immunity to that particular trigger to damage type. Just flat out.
Just a one time. Just hey, I'm gonna like just basically a shield.
Now
like
the question is how often can I do that? Is that like an every turn thing?
You just are within a reaction. So as long as you have a reaction,
I'll say because the majority of your build is built around you using your reaction almost every turn to do this sigil thing, I feel like that wouldn't be crazy overpowered, because you're basically saying, do I want to do that? Do I want to save my reaction for that? Or do I want to use it to do damage?
Would it be too much for something like a subclass or just something kind of in a build? It'd be too much to give you a second reaction.
I would say no, only if you restricted the second reaction to only be able to do one thing.
Like this, like being able to say like True Aegis, like if you see this, you can use a second reaction for this purpose only.
Sure.
Because that would be interesting, being able to sigil and do this in the same turn.
Yes, I also think it might be a little bit easier to do something like what Sentinel does. For Sentinel, you can regular what do you call it? Attacks of opportunity don't cost your reaction. And so you have your reaction to do other things. So saying something in this particular build wouldn't cost your reaction, then you could use your reaction for something else, you know? So
yeah, I mean, I agree that if we were to add this as a every turn kind of thing, I don't know if granting immunity is that good or that's way too powerful, because if you could every turn just say you're immune to damage, I think there are too many like builds out there where you would basically make an impossible team. You know what I mean? Like, because if every turn you could just be like, they're immune to that attack. Some enemies would only have one attack. So
But even the way it's worded, it's only the first listed damage type that you get immunity to. So it's not necessarily the whole of the attack. It's just a portion of the attack. It's only one attack. You have to use a react
type. So even if they have multi-attack and they're still the same damage type,
that's true.
Then you're SOL.
That's
too.
true.
So I don't know if I would say I like the idea that it's bumping it up to the damage type, because if you already have resistance, I like the bump up. I don't know if I would do the full immunity every time. But even as is, because it's only damage type and in temporary, I still don't mind this having, like you said, having a secondary reaction only for this.
Okay.
Like just getting this and the sigil at the same time might be interesting to do some more combos. And it would make it feel a little bit more like a good capstone. Because again, I hate capstones this early. 14, 15 capstones kind of suck.
I know exactly what you mean. It's like, what am I doing for the next who knows how many levels? And you don't. Now, granted, you might get a lot of class features with Ranger. I'm not as familiar with what they get kind of later down the road, but but yeah, it's kind of hard. Yeah, you get an ASI, you get 2 ASIs, something called Feral Sense and Foe Slayer at level 20. So, not a whole lot, but.
All right. Well, I think I'm just going to end it with my 2 suggestions: the distance heal, and swapping the last 2 abilities. That's all I have for this one.
Okay.
It's really good though. I like it. I think it has a lot of potential. I would absolutely love this to be the poster child for the reversible class, because that used to be a thing for spells, and I think it might still be a thing where some spells have the reversible, like enlarge is reversible, so you can shrink as well.
Enlarge, yeah.
So it's like I think that
blindness, deafness, kind of.
Yeah. So this having that thing for subclasses, basically being able to say this can work if you choose good,
dark or light,
and if you choose bad, you would just switch all of those. I think that would be phenomenal, and this is a great class to start that with.
What do you think about it being determined by your current alignment, or would that be too shoehorny?
I just think it would be just nice to just say which one you choose. The light
sure.
path.
Okay.
But yeah, otherwise, I think it's great. I think this could fit into most campaigns pretty well. I'd really be interested to see what kind of nonsense you can get in with like an Aarakocra or something with this.
Theoretically, nothing in here says you get like spectral wings or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you made a flying character for this, it would be
find your own little way.
Pretty damn good. So yeah. It's definitely it's gonna get the inspiration point for sure. Just because there's a lot here that is expandable. So I think Aegis Strider is gonna get a 9 out of 10 for that compatibility. There's a few things that I would slightly adjust to make it fit more in terms of, like, again, with lore and how that would work in High Point. There's a few things that I would make those small adjustments for. I would definitely add in that distance heal option, but I mean, it's basically right there. It's
sure.
There's not really much you can do to make this thing that much better. I mean, it kind of hits everything it wants to do, and I think it highlights Rangers in a way that we don't really get to see in subclasses.
Big facts.
So,
dude,
congratulations!
I love it, man.
Thank you so much for that. Hopefully that was a good review. Hopefully you enjoyed the feedback. But yeah, I'm still want to know how you guys do your playtest, and I'm curious what the entire build was during your playtest that made it seem too powerful.
Yeah, I'm very curious about that too. Like, I can't imagine like at higher levels that would be that crazy for a lot of people. But again, there's probably so many factors that I'm not taking into consideration. So, but
yeah, let them know what their
I wonder if that would be a thing.
Averages now.
Like, I wonder if that would be a thing. Like, recording playtesting, so like you can actually, like I would love like a library that I could go to and like watch people that are playtesting certain things, and like even in like Marvel Rivals, where you see a lot of people complaining about certain things and like how they go about balancing things. Like, there's lots of like information out there. There's lots of content creators that'll say, hey, I tried this out, this doesn't work, this feels bad, this feels this, whatever the case may be. Like, imagine if you like actually sat down with people and like recorded their gameplay through like a certain thing, like, or however it is that they go about it, whether you just put them in an arena or whatever the case may be. Like, I had that idea for the longest time. Like, I want to have a basically a D&D group where all it is we sit here and play with builds in this arena style thing. Like, we're not worried about RP, we're not worried about anything. It's just combat.
Like how I ran the
yes, very similar to that, although there was a lot of RP involved in that because that's all you have, all of your lore baked into everything that's going on there. But like, it's the exact same concept where you could just pop in every week, you come with a build. If your build wins, then you move on and you get to keep your character, whatever the case may be. If your build loses, then boom, you come back with a new build next week with whatever it is. You don't have to worry about lore and all that. Anyways, I think that kind of stuff would be very, very cool. Although I know that a lot of these subclasses are not just meant to balance just combat. Yeah. Right? Like, a lot of these things, like, they have elements of role play baked into them, and like saying, oh, this is not as strong as another one's. Well, yeah, because a lot of my focus is in role play, is in convincing people, is in persuasion, whatever the case may be. So
right.
Okay.
So what is Pokeniner's new average? I should have bumped it up.
It's in the chat. It's an 8 as of right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know what it was before, but I feel like they've always done fairly well in a lot of their reviews. Actually, let me see if I can look at their history.
Fantastic.
Real quick.
All right. Well, yeah, that was a great one. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was very cool. Next week we have the I don't know how I'm going to pronounce this. The Fabry folk? Fabry folk?
Let me double check. Let's see if I can look it up and give you any alternative
pronunciation.
Sometimes I can get it right. Sometimes I fumble it. No, I think you had it. Yeah, the Fabry folk.
Okay.
Yeah, Fabry or Fabry, but yeah, the Fabry folk.
I don't know what that's supposed to be. I don't know.
So I'm immediately, like, honest. The moment I see Faberfolk, I'm immediately thinking, what's that game? Little Planet with like
Little Big Planet.
Is that
like
little,
the sack people?
Yeah, are they like little, like, you know, like little, like yarn? Like,
yeah.
That's immediately what I think of.
That's hilarious.
This is just like literally like a fairy folk, but they're made of fabric.
The first thing I thought of was rabbits for some reason. Like
Sackboy, yeah.
That's hilarious.
So I'm definitely Faberfolk. Or fabrication, like
okay,
you know, like so maybe, you know, just like Tinker's
constructs, maybe.
Ooh, a new construct race could be.
I would not be mad at that, man. I want to check it out.
You'll have to be here next Monday for that.
Fabulous.
So yeah, so next Monday will be the Faberfolk. And then this Friday, we have the alpha playtest of OSR. Oh, thank you so much, Neverending. Thank you so much for the follow. We appreciate it.
Yes, much appreciated. Hope you come back next week.
We stream every Monday and Friday, by the way. So if you're interested, we do reviews like this every Monday. All of our reviews come from our community, so you can submit things in our Discord if you ever want them to be slotted in. And then Fridays, we kind of change it up. Right now, we've been doing a lot of work on our OSR. Oh, we got somebody joining. Perfect. There they are. I will go ahead and get them in real quick. Or did you already do that?
Not yet.
Okay.
Still in chat.
Hold on. What happened here?
Quick. Look at
Wait, why is... hang on a second, something's wrong.
What happened?
There we go. Bam, bam. There we go. Okay. I have to fix this. I have to fix the Discord. I'm sorry. Just, there you go. Thank you. We should have our... There we go. You should have access to everything now, Neverending. Sorry, we haven't fixed our onboarding just yet. So you're all in. You should be able to see the entire Discord now. And if you're interested in submitting anything, you can check out the submissions channel. That's where you can send Kage anything.
Yes.
He runs it all. So if you
Very
have any
excited.
questions, ping him. But however you have your submissions, doesn't matter if you have them on a Word document, Notepad, or any kind of website.
Yep.
He'll go ahead and take care of the formatting. And we usually, new submitters always get slotted next. So if you are interested, you won't have to wait months or weeks. The worst case, you'll have to wait till just the next Monday.
Yep. Yep.
But fantastic. So yeah, that, what were we talking about before? Oh yeah, so this Friday, OSR, One Shot Rivals, is our new side project. It is a VTT of the Marvel Rivals video game. So it is something that we're building so we can play with chat, and we are going to be doing the alpha build game test this Friday. So we'll be sitting down. Kage and I will be each taking a whole team. We'll do a 3v3, and we are going to test an entire round, test out all of the abilities, the movement, and just see the flow of the game. And if everything works out, then we can get that pushed off to the developers to do a interface and then map building. And then we'll eventually be able to have something to where everybody in chat can join a queue, and then we can actually have chat play. Well, they'll be able to decide what they want to do. Everything will be rolled in the background, so it'll be nice and fluid. And we'll just basically be narrators. We'll just kind of basically be esports, commentators about what's happening each round. And then, yeah, that's happening. So that'll be this Friday. And next Saturday, not this Saturday coming up, but next Saturday, the 27th, is going to be our community streams. So this is something that we try to do every month, Codex. So you'll notice in the Twitch chat, there's the community challenge, which is the October community stream. And so every month we put up a goal there for chat to try and achieve. And if they achieve it, we do a extra stream the following month. So next Saturday will be that one. And in the community streams page in the chat, in the Discord, is a vote for, I will put that in the main, what happened? Oh, I switched Discords. But yeah, there's a vote for what topic we should do. So if you're interested in that, you can go check out the community streams vote on the community streams channel. And yeah, we have a whole bunch of different types of things that we like to do. So we'll hang out here in the bar and chit chat and have some drinks, or we'll create something, either a new subclass or a new character. We haven't done a pop culture build in a minute. Pop culture build is one of the options, right? It should be. Oh yeah, pop culture build. 2 votes for that one so far.
Nice. Hey, we got 2 votes.
Actually, we got 4 votes. So we got 1 for Lord Pour, we got 1 for Critical Cocktails, and we have 2 votes for pop culture build.
Okay. Pop culture build's on the top.
Yep.
Actually, wasn't the last pop culture build we did your suggestion? Johnny 5. Yeah.
So yeah, and if you're interested, Codex, in what any of those types are, under the community streams channel, above the vote are the descriptions for all of the different episode types. So little blurbs on what we do.
And if you check out our VODs channel, you can see any of the old ones we've done if you want to get an example of what they kind of look like and how they kind of go.
That's true too. So yeah, so community streams coming up. Other than that, the only other things I have really are just what's going on TikTok. Just more collabs for MisfitGamersStudios.
As well as Dice Profiler rolling.
Yep, as well as the Dice Profiler. So that should be happening very, very soon. So keep an eye out for that. We're still just trying to get traction. I mean, it's only a month old, but I need to figure out a way to get more traction on the Dice Profiler because I really want that to kick off. I think that'll be a really cool idea, but I just don't know how to market it.
Sure.
So continue with that.
I mean, new stuff is always challenging on that front, to be honest.
Awesome. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. As long as we have access to it, then yeah, Kage will be able to grab it and format it, no problem. We'd be very interested to check that out.
Oh, so you got something to submit to us?
It looks like it. So yeah, it'll be a link. It looks like to their own Patreon, but it will be a free version. So no, you should be able to pull from that.
That's cool. Yeah, send the link in the submissions channel. I should be able to make it work. If not, if I got any questions, I'll hit you up in our Discord and we'll figure it out.
And I don't know what it's for, But we do have, if you're an editor or do art, we do have a couple channels in the Discord that we let people kind of show off what they do.
Oh, cool.
I mean, we appreciate the no self-plugging and everything on stream. We try to limit that, but we also want artists and people to be able to like show off what they do and things of that sort. So, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That works too. I mean, as long if it's in the submissions channel, we don't mind if it's the Patreon link. I mean, I do appreciate the respect. We would prefer that not to be in like the normal channels. But if it's specifically in the submissions channel for that purpose, we're not going to hold it against you. And my mods know better.
And I'm pretty sure in the submissions channel, you can only see the most recent post and what you posted.
we have protections just so you know we don't give away spoilers for what's coming down the line. But yeah, so don't worry about that as long as you know you're not trying to. Again, you seem to be pretty respectful, so you know don't worry about that particular one. But if you want to download the PDF, that's cool too. We're not that strict. We're just we try to be chill about it. If you're chill, we're chill.
Big facts.
But if you do post the link, I might go take a look at it just because I'm curious. We have not developed our own Patreon yet, and mainly just because I have absolutely zero idea what we would offer on it. But I'm always fascinated to know what people do with theirs.
Sure.
And if that could give us ideas on what we could do, whether it's a Patreon or a membership.
Patreon before, like
exactly. I've been a part of like one or two. But they were so basic, I just didn't really understand the breadth of what a Patreon could be.
You know what? That's not true. The Goblin Notebook. I think they had a Patreon, and that's how I first heard about them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well,
okay.
Because now that we have the website, one of the things I was thinking about doing is making a membership portion of the website.
Sure.
We have things like the Oracle.
And,
if we have digital assets, it'd be kind of nice to have a section there where people can grab stuff like the pop culture builds and whatnot. So I've thought about doing Patreon and web and membership stuff. I need more ideas. I need more understanding of what we can offer outside of what we do on live stream.
Is Patreon just like a place you can host paid stuff and like have people log in without you having to host it yourself? Because like if we were to have like a membership on our website, wouldn't that just be the same thing as a Patreon?
I think so, but I think Patreon's just structured to make like goals and stuff easier. Just like I could go live on YouTube,
right?
But going live on Twitch gives us followers and polls and
community streams and
all
stuff.
Of that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I think that's the idea with Patreon. Is I could make a membership and upload all that stuff, but they have interactive things that I think are more appealing and just easier to use.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I need more ideas on that because I need to start streaming more outside of just these two streams. I need to stream under the Dice Profiler and just do more TikTok streams as well because it does help like with the community that we've built over there so far. Doing those live streams does garner more interest, and I do get people popping in and out a lot more.
I love that.
Yeah, I need to just start doing that throughout the week.
And I know you're starting to do like collabs and stuff like that, and I've seen a lot of people do collaboration live streams, specifically on like TikTok and stuff like that, where they're just hanging out with other creators and whatnot. So no, I totally love that.
All right, take it easy, Sugi. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. We'll be back on Friday with some OSR if you're interested.
Yeah, well, we appreciate all you guys coming to hang out. Got some new chatters, some new followers. We really appreciate you guys being here. It's definitely something fun that we enjoy doing, but we enjoy you guys
for 2.5 years now. So
heck yes,
we ain't going nowhere. But yeah, I think that's going to be us for tonight. We don't have any other major updates right now, but we will be prepping for Friday. So Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, OSR Alpha gameplay. We're going to go through an entire round, Kage versus me, and we'll figure out exactly how it all works, how it all looks, and make sure that our ideas for rolling happens. Could you answer Codex in Discord?
Discord, sure.
But yeah, so that's gonna be it for us. We'll be back on Friday, and then if you see me on TikTok, MisfitGamersStudios or the Dice Profiler, both of those are our accounts. If you guys aren't familiar, if you haven't seen them yet, I might as well, promo myself real quick. So the Dice Profiler is this. I've started this little project where I'm taking D20s or dice dice sets. So got to take a d20 like this, and we roll them. So we find out little personalities. So I've devised a way to do this. This little profile card is the way that I document it, and these come with the d20s that people purchase. And essentially, this is a aspect where I roll 100 times. I'm asking you, like, what do I do? But no, we do 100 rolls. Those rolls come into 10 stats, which are these, and then these 10 stats create the one personality profile. On the back side comes with the QR code for the VOD channel, and then the VOD on the top, the actual VOD code, as well as the timestamp for that particular dice. So if you go to the website, MisfitGamersStudios.com/dice profiles with a hyphen, you'll be able to see all the dice that we have. I think we have 24 or 25 dice right now and dice sets, all complete with personality profiles. They go over everything from the first and the 100th roll. The sum, which is what we call the strength score, the average, which is the power score. We have the number of 20s, the number of ones rolled, its favorite number, its most hated number, sticky numbers, the ones it just wants to roll over and over, and of course any forbidden numbers it does not want to roll.
Forbidden number.
And then each one comes with their own case, and the dice profile fits nicely inside. So and you have everything from regular D20s, we have colossal D20s, we have mini D20s, we have everything over there. Take it easy, have fun. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, so Misfit Gamer Studios. I need to put that one on a thing.
On a chat command.
Yeah. It's now. There we go. Bam. More ads, more ads, more ads. And
all the ads, disrespectful.
Ads ending. Yay, our community's back. Hooray, no more ads. But yeah, so that's kind of our new thing right now is dice profiles. I post every day on TikTok, on our main channel. Dice profiles, I try to post every single day, but I try to do a live stream every single month right now until I get, once sales start to happen, I will be able to do more live streams because I'll be able to cycle inventory.
Sure.
But until I start selling inventory, I kind of have to, budget for it. So right now, one stream a month. I have both streams. I have 2 streams on the VOD channel for the Dice Profiler. So yeah, tons of dice.
You're still waiting to roll that the request you got in, right?
Yes, so this one is from another content creator. They set this to get a personal custom profile, and that will be hopefully done this week or this weekend. I haven't heard back from them on when we will roll this, but we will do a special custom profile for their dice.
Sick.
I'm super excited about that. All right, well, that's it. I'm done rambling. I have not many other things. But yeah, so the TikTok live streams are, I kind of like doing the Q&As, like choosing a generalized topic and then just kind of rambling on it. So if you see us live on TikTok, stop in. Otherwise, we'll be back on Friday, y'all. Hope y'all had a fantastic weekend, and I hope you have a great week ahead of you. Cheers.
Deuces, my friends.